What's going on, fellow Luminaries? Welcome back in. I'm Lorcana Thanos, the Mad Titan of the Illuminary, and today we're doing another thematic deck profile where you're crossing another movie off the Disney animated theatrical list. And for today's deck profile, we're doing a thematic deck profile based around 1986's The Great Mouse Detective, and I call it a detective in the world's greatest criminal mind. Let's check out the list. All right, so here we have our list. This is a Ruby Sapphire deck. It is 60 cards and it comes in at 125.50. And we look at our chart here 48 inkables, which means 14 non inkables. That's not terrible. And let's go ahead and look at the actual list itself. All right, so we have 34 characters. As always, I like to remind people I try to use as much of the thematic elements of support as possible. So please keep that in mind when reviewing this list. There are some non support cards in here because I had to make the deck function, but keep in mind I try to stay on theme as much as possible. So, 34 characters. We have 4 copies of Felicia, Always Hungry. So Felicia is just a 3/1 with Reckless. So she is our aggressor for the deck. 4 copies of Basil, Practice Detective. So he has support. He's a 2/1 with 1, and he's out of Shimmering Skies. And then we have 2 copies of Basil Baker Street, who is a 2/2 with support and a lore pip. So we will get to why we run these later, outside of the fact that they're Basil. 3 copies of Fidget, Ratigan's henchman. He has evasive and is a 3/2 with a lore pip. So kind of serves like the Ruby Minnie Mouse for us, basically. Um, our first Ratigan, 3 copies of Ratigan Raging Rat, Inkable 3. That's a 1/5 with a lore pip. And his ability, Nothing Can Stand in My Way, says that when this character has damage, he gains +2 strength. We have a way to deal damage to him in the deck, and we'll get to that, which would make him a 3/5. And then you need him for shifting, which we'll get to. For the main staple of Sapphire, Mr. Hiram Flaversham. I don't have to explain this card. You guys know what this card is. 4 copies of Hiram, obviously. 2 copies of Mrs. Judson, Housekeeper. So she's a non-inkable 4. That's a 1/5 with 2 lore pips. That says whenever you play a Floodborn, you may put the top card of your deck in your inkwell face down and exerted. So she is ramping. We don't run a ton of Floodborn, but our shift targets are Floodborns. So there's that. But she's also, that's why she's just a 2/0, because she's non-inkable. We don't run a lot of Floodborn, and she's thematic to the film. 3 copies of Ratigan, Very Large Mouse, non-inkable 5. That's a 3/3 with 2 lore pip. His ability is This Is My Kingdom. When you play this character, exert chosen opposing character with 3 strength or less. Choose one of your characters, ready them, and they can't quest for the rest of the turn. So it's a good way to sing or challenge into another character since they can't quest for the rest of the turn. Running out the characters, we have 3 copies of Basil, the Great Mouse Detective. So Basil is an inkable 6. That's a 3/4 with 3 lore pips. He shifts for 5. And then his ability is when you use shift to play him, you may draw 2 when he enters play. So tiny little draw engine. We have 6 Basils to potentially shift off. And you saw the Ratigans. We have 6 Ratigans. Next up, we have the brand new Ratigan from Shimmering Skies, a non-equal 7. Ratigan Party Crasher. He's a 5/5 with 3 lore pits as well. Ratigan shifts for 4, has evasive, and says your damaged characters get that +2. I can't see that with that in the way. +2 strength. I think the Ratigan's a little better than Basil, so we have 3 of each to shift off the respective characters. And then rounding up characters is 3 Tamatoa because we are using Hiram and playing items. So moving on to 4 actions, 2 Hideaway and 2 Brawl. Obviously, inkable removal options, 8 songs. So 2 Be Prepared, 2 Let It Go, and 2 Be King Undisputed. Obviously, all removal options because we aren't running things like Medusa in this deck. And then running 2 copies of Teeth and Ambition. So Teeth and Ambition is what we are using to put damage on the Raging Rat Ratigan. that I talked about, outside of him receiving natural battle damage from opposing challenges. So I think this is a pretty decent lineup since we don't have the additional removal with Medusa, and then 10 items, pretty standard options. 4 possible for draw and healing off of the Teeth Inhibitions off the Ratigan, pull it back with Tama. Um, 4 Fishbone for ramping since we're not running Tipo, and then 2 copies of Lucky Dime to. Honestly, it works out pretty well because we can copy our shift targets or Tamatoa. So dime is dime, and that's how you win in Sapphire. And then to stay on theme for the location, 4 copies of Ratigan's Party. So Ratigan's Party CD back room is a inkable 2-cost location that is from Shimmering Skies. It has a movement cost of 1, 7 willpower, and its ability Misfits Revelry says while you have damage character here, this location gets 2 lore pips. It fits in with the 3-drop Ratigan, or honestly, if we damage any of our other characters, even Hiram and Tamatoa would work out going there because they have such high willpower values. But yeah, there you guys go. That is the list. And there you have it. That is the list for our thematic deck profile for the Great Mouse Detective, a detective in the world's greatest criminal mind. Be sure to let me know down below what you think of the list. And as always, give me one of these. It helps the YouTube algorithm do what it does best, and that is help other Illuminators like yourself find this video. As always, if you like the Lorcana content I do here on the channel and you want to see more, make sure you type and smash that subscribe button, click that bell so you get notified when I upload new videos every Tuesday and Friday. As always, you can follow me on the artist formerly known as Twitter on X at Lorcana Thanos. Thanks for watching, and remember, the hardest choices require the strongest wills. Bye.